Hello, everybody. Welcome into the NBA Front Office Show. It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
Front Office Friday on a Thursday edition.
On a Thursday edition. Let's go. People say, you guys made me think I lost a whole day. No, so we realized that Keith is going to be busy traveling tomorrow, and we probably weren't going to be able to do our live show. So we decided instead we're going to do the live show for the week today and make sure that we didn't deprive everyone of Front Office Friday. So it is Front Office Friday a day early, as it were.
Yeah, that's all. We just wanted to get you guys your live show this week. We want live shows we have a lot of fun with them. We know you guys like them, so we want to make sure we got one in this week and have a little bit of fun before I head off for a very quick holiday trip over the weekend.
You want to have some fun?
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, there we go. 1 week till Christmas.
We will do the full Christmas regalia next week for sure. We will be here on Friday the 26th. Boxing Day, mate.
Boxing Day. All right.
Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
We're gonna take He sounded like Jim Carrey. All right, guys, we're going to take your questions, your comments. Oh, that's Trevor works 23 hours a day. I was just live on Lakers Collective like an hour ago or whatever, not even, I guess. Yes, I do not sleep. I wait. That's the way it works.
I am proud of you, though, because you actually took time out earlier today instead of us doing a show earlier to do some family time. So
that's right.
I am proud of you. Well done for stepping away for a bit.
Keith, my daughter had her school Christmas party today, and so I went to go be there with her for that. And as I went to climb into the car, my phone goes off. And it's Michael Scotto dropping a piece on Hoops Hype. That's his trade notebook. I'm like, you have to be fucking kidding me. Fortunately, there wasn't anything like substantially different than, or at least there were a few little things, but nothing. It was not breaking, Kevin Durant traded at 2 a.m. or something like that. It wasn't anything along those lines, but still.
I was afraid you were going to say it was the Gabe Vincent. And you were like, guys, I got to do a live video from the car while driving.
No, that would definitely not be the case. Okay, let's get into the questions and comments. This show is all about the audience, all about the fans. So, what NBA Christmas match do you think will be the best? I love it being from the UK, live NBA all evening. Well, I'll put up the graphic here for the NBA's Christmas games. Obviously, I'm going to be a bit partial to the Lakers and Rockets, which I'm very excited for. Christmas Day, there it is. I love how it pulls up the Christmas days for other past Christmases, the Ghosts of Christmas
Games Past.
Yeah, something like that. I'll find it. We landed there eventually. Here we go. Okay, so here are the games: the Cavs and the Knicks. I wish the Cavs were playing better. The Spurs and the Thunder, the Mavs and the Warriors, the Rockets and the Lakers, and the Wolves and the Nuggets. Keith, for me, if I'm trying to take my Lakers bias out of this, I think the matchups that are the most intriguing are Spurs, Thunder, and Wolves, Nuggets.
Yeah, Spurs Thunder for me, that's the one, right? That was so good in the Cup semifinals. The Thunder are going to have a little bit of payback on their mind a little bit there. So I'm pretty fired up for that one, but they're really all pretty good. Mavericks Warriors, that's when you sneak in your quick nap, maybe if you need to, get that, depending if you did lunch, that's when you get your plate of food. If you're doing lunch, if you're doing dinner, fine, plan it over that, just have that on the TV on the side and go. But that game but that's still going to be fun.
It could be good.
It should still be a good game. Yeah, absolutely.
Is it now? The second team listed is the home team, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that game would be more interesting if it was in Dallas.
Yeah, I like Clay back in the Bay, especially with all the stuff that came out this week where Steph Curry was like, I hope we can play again, pretty much is what he said. And Draymond Green saying we should have finished as a trio, and Clay basically they were reported by ESPN. He loves everybody from the players and coaches, but has some bad feelings towards Warriors management. So, and Steph's playing out of his mind lately, and Cooper Flagg's been playing incredible. So I'm pretty fired up for this whole slate. I think the whole thing is pretty good. There's not one of them will end up being a stinker because somebody will no show and get blown out, but the nature with 5 games. But I think it has a chance to be a really, really good day.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun, and it is just a week away somehow, some way. And oh my God, I haven't done any wrapping. All right, let's go here. Is it best for New York to break it up and go for Giannis, or keep the culture and team they have already? Well, I do think part of it depends on what exactly are you giving to get Giannis. Like that is a big piece to that conversation. Is it? Does Milwaukee say, hey, we need Jalen Brunson, otherwise we can't give you Giannis? I mean, is that where it's at? Because that's a different conversation. True. Than it'll be Cat and a draft pick or something like that for you. And we're talking about the culture of the team.
Yeah, I would not do anything where I'm giving up too much if I'm the Knicks. I'm certainly not giving up Brunson. I don't want to get into a deal where I'm giving up like 2 of Bridges, Hart, and Anunoby. I don't even know at this point, this might sound kind of blasphemous because obviously Giannis is the better player. I don't even know that I really want to get involved in giving up Karl Anthony Towns. Just the Knicks have really good chemistry. You can tell those guys love playing together. They're playing well. The East is right there for the taking for them. That's more of a, all right, if we don't get through this year, let's have a different conversation in the summertime, especially before we start talking an extension with Cat. But yeah, I would just be cautious.
Keith, what you're saying right now is music to the ears of the Miami Heat.
Yeah, right.
Because right now, like look at the main suitors that we talk about for Giannis.
Yeah.
Talk about the Knicks, talk about the Thunder, talk about the Spurs, talk about the Rockets. All 4 of them have legitimate reasons why they could say, you know what? I think we're good. We don't need to go get Giannis right now. And that's where Miami can go, oh, really? Might we interest you in a Tyler Hero plus
right.
offer?
Yeah,
and,
yeah, I mean, and if Miami makes the run, good for them, right? Like and Giannis has been rumored to the Heat before. I say it all the time, right? Heat or Lakers East, where they play in a market a lot of guys want to play in. They're aggressive going after stars. So they're always going to be linked to 2 star players. If you could tell me 2 organizations that are consistently going to be linked to star guys, it's going to be Miami and the Lakers. Like that's really where it is. So maybe they will kind of make that kind of run, but I think for the most part we'll see, because I just better for them, right? On wanting to get them. We have a question. Has Giannis said a word about wanting a trade? He hasn't.
But he hasn't said he doesn't want one.
Yeah,
either.
He didn't. When asked, he basically.
When we get into the whole like Giannis hates all these trade rumors and doesn't like all his talking of it,
so
you control all of it, dude. Yep. You control the whole thing. All you got to do is come out and say, I either want to be traded or I don't, and that's 100%. That, and that ends everything, right? And so you can't complain about people talking about trade rumors. Anyway, sorry, I won't get on my soapbox here.
No, but you're right. They are in a spot where it is. They should, like, if he doesn't want it to be a thing, then make it not a thing and say, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay here. So, it is what it is. But yes, he hasn't officially said he wants a trade, but I think we're all aware of where things kind of stand right now. Will Giannis fit in the Heat's new play style? Will the Heat's new play style fit in with Giannis? Yeah. Right. You change your system if you need to some, but I do think he could fit in that new style. He's not a super heavy pick and roll guy. And I mean, he can be at times, but I think, put the ball in his hands, play the dribble drive game. I think he'd be just fine.
I think about what Jaime Jaquez has done, just cannonballing to the basket in this system, and think if that's Giannis, good Lord, like that's death. So I think he can fit just fine. And if you're going to trust, I mean, there's not many coaches in the NBA you would trust more, if any, to figure that out than Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they'll make it work. Hey, I just want to say one thing. Couple people, they're putting evaluate this trade in the chat. We're not going to do that today, and we won't do it next week, but in January, we will devote an entire episode to your fake trades. We're going to ask you guys to submit a bunch of them, and we will break them down and go through them and all that. But that's good. We contain that to one place, because honestly, if we do one, we're going to get 20 of them. Did you see my tweet? I know you were doing Lakers Collective.
I didn't.
We added to the Spot Track trade machine there. We can pull it up. There is now a sidebar which tells you the most recent legal trades that users have submitted.
I did see that. Something about a 9-team trade.
Yeah, it was a 9-team trade that had multiple max salary players in it. And it was completely legal. So yeah, people are having a lot of fun with that. It's and then there's a button where you can see the 50 most recent trades if you guys want to look at that as well, though. But yes, there's my tweet where I said
that's pretty
good
cool.
job making it legal and seek help. So.
Oh man. All right. Let's go. Yeah, at some point we'll do a fake trade-a-palooza.
Yeah. We'll have a lot of fun with that, but yeah, not today.
Keith, what is your order of the top 3 in the NBA draft right now?
Yeah, the order Bryce put him in, is our buddy Bryce. AJ DeBonta, I have number 1. It's super tight. I'm not going to argue with you on any order with these 3 guys. A lot of it comes down to personal preference, and then some of it will come down to who has what picks. I am a big believer at the top of the draft, you draft talent over need. Yep. But if you are like, man, we are loaded with wings and we really need a guard, then Darren Peterson could be the guy for you. If you're like, we have guards and wings, but we could use a power forward, then it's probably Cam Boozer. But that's my independent of teams. That's my order. AJ DeBonta, Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson. Some of that is I'm a little worried with Peterson now. I'm hopeful this hamstring injury is just this thing that he's just got to get past. But if this starts becoming a thing and then it turns into something else, that gets a little worrisome for me. But I think AJ DeBonta is he's a really, really special player. Full disclosure, I've only seen him and Cam Boozer of this group. I've not seen Peterson in person, but I've seen DeBonta and Boozer in person. I saw DeBonta this year, and I've seen him previous years, and I saw Cam Boozer in previous years when he was in high school. Very high on both of those players.
Yeah, I mean, this is fit, in my opinion, should be a tiebreaker. And if you have one guy ahead of another, and especially if it's at the top of the draft, I don't care about fit at all. I've taken the guy that I've got ahead of the other guy. That said, if it's a true tie, we cannot pick between these 2 guys, and one guy's a guard and one guy's a big, and you need a guard, then you take the guard. You use that as your tiebreaker, and that's it.
Here's the terrifying thing. Which one will OKC take? Hopefully none. Come on, Clippers, pick it up. Pick up your play.
I mean, there was some reports today that the Clippers want to keep their team together rather than trade guys away because they think they can at least make it to the play-in once they get Derrick Jones Jr. healthy and get that going. I mean, it's weird, but I think the whole NBA needs to kind of root for the Clippers to do that because nobody wants to see the Thunder get a top 3 pick.
Let's come back to Bryce's other question because this is another draft question.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to that one. Caleb Wilson could maybe work his way in the top 3. Steinbach is not going to. He's not at that level. But you talk to 99% of people, it is a top 3 in some order of DeBonta, Cam Boozer, and Darren Peterson. Like it's one of those 3 that they or those 3 in one order or another that everybody kind of has. I don't. It's going to take a lot for somebody to break in that group. That doesn't mean these guys aren't good players. This draft class is loaded. It's better in depth than the current draft class we're seeing, which is playing really, really well.
This draft class has been awesome.
Yeah, these guys look really, really good.
All right, let's go here.
Somebody said we'll go back to someone also said just add Bryce to the show. Do not let him type in the chat. Bryce is probably either in class trying to keep his students focused for the last little bit or in a tractor. That's where I always assume he is if he's not watching hoops.
One of 2 places. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. I know Sam Hauser makes sense from the Pistons side of things. What does it take to make sense for the Celtics to give up Hauser?
Salary relief and draft capital. Doesn't have to be a ton of draft capital, but either good seconds, like actual good seconds, or like a late first. And if I'm
Mhm.
Sam Hauser, like I would, or rather the Pistons, I would be okay with maybe giving up a first just because it's probably going to be 25 or lower than that. So I would be okay with that, but that's what it would take: salary relief and draft capital.
All right, let's go here. Who has higher upside, Keyshawn George or Bilal Coulibaly? Something positive has to be mentioned about my Wizards.
Aw.
They've
I
got
mean,
some good young
positive.
talent
They
there.
really good young talent. Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
they're really bad, but they're really bad with a point, right? They're
Right.
playing all these kids. These kids are getting good reps together. They've stayed, knock on wood, very lightly, so the dogs don't bark too much. But kids have stayed relatively healthy. So cap sheet is pretty clean. I mean, after this year, it's only Corey Kispert that's on a non-rookie scale deal that amounts to anything. They're gonna have 80 million in cap space this summer, I think. Wizards are doing things the right way. George or Koulibaly, it's interesting. My gut wanted to say Koulibaly because
I do
he's
too.
so athletic,
Yeah.
and there is just so much untapped potential there. But Keyshawn George has shown a lot. I think I'm probably going to go him. Just I think he's shown more ability to do more things as an on-ball guy. He's pretty good away from the ball as well. So I think I would go with Keyshawn George.
By the way, Keith, and I think you can make an argument for either guy. We should have noted off the top the surprise news we've been hearing, sometime soon-ish, but Trae Young is back tonight.
Yeah, it's back tonight. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exciting.
for game against the Hornets. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm. Hawks went 13-9 without him. They did what they had to do, right? They hung in there. They played well. Now you bring them back and move forward. So I'm really excited for that one.
All right. With SpotTrack releasing its mock expansion draft, I was curious how you two would approach building your teams if you were those new GMs. So, if we were the GMs of the Vegas Vipers and the Seattle Sonics, how would we go through the process of putting together a team and going through the expansion draft?
I would take so in the expansion draft, I would take only players on rookie scale deals or minimum type contracts, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
minimum or second round pick exceptions. I would keep my cap space as flush as I could, with the exception of if a team wanted to pay me in draft capital to eat a bad contract, I would take that on. It's important to remember with an expansion team, they do operate the first year. Again, this is all going off of the current rules, which were applied for the Bobcats 20 years ago. And then the Raptors and Grizzlies before that, but they operate under an 80% of the salary cap amount in year one. And then that jumps to 90% in year two, and then the full in year three. But I would still be willing to eat a bunch of bad deals early on from
Yep.
teams for draft capital and all that stuff. Cause that's just, for me, that's where I would, at least let me load up. I'm going to be bad anyway. I might as well load up and get that. And if one of those contracts is attached to a guy that maybe I could flip in another trade, or it's at least a name guy that fans would buy jerseys of and watch in year one, that's fine too.
And a lot of times we don't think along these lines. We were thinking about players. I want to find a coach who's ready for that kind of
Yes.
situation. You know what I mean?
100%.
You got to find the right guy to establish your culture from day one. I'm being that dumping ground that you're talking about. Bad contracts. I want as many bites at the apple to find the star, because I'm not getting a star in the expansion draft. And if
Yep.
I am, it's because it's a 35-year-old star that the other team is begging
on a
that you
max
take
deal.
off. Yeah, that you take off their roster. And if they want to give up significant draft capital, that's one thing. But in general, I want a coach who's ready to take a bunch of young kids, find some diamonds in the rough, and in the meantime, rack up as much early draft capital as I possibly can get my hands on.
Yep, completely agree. Yeah, I'm just gonna start this thing as low as you can and just build it. I mean, it's like a rebuilding team, but a rebuilding team on steroids, because you're starting literally with no, from zero.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be 100% in on that approach, and just go that direction. With that. Somebody said, I can't find it now, we should do a mock expansion draft. Yeah, probably in the summer, when we're when we don't have a lot of content.
August.
We'll do something like that, especially now that we have a tool to make it easy. We just put it on the screen and you guys can follow right along with us.
Cap wise, would it not make sense for the Pistons to make a move this deadline, considering they have some big contracts, but have some players to pay this summer?
Yeah, that's the challenge, right? You're kind of in your last year of having a really clean cap sheet because Jalen Duren's pushing towards a max deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has been so good this year. Jaden Ivey, if they're going to keep him, he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid a decent chunk of money. So they're still in great shape. Don't get me wrong. They don't really have a single, I mean, not even really. They have no bad deals on their books. So I think they are in a spot where, yeah, you're kind of, I don't want to say you're now or never territory, but it just gets harder after this year. So I think there is a chance they should do this, but I don't know that they're going to. I think you're going to see them make a smaller move that's like a rotation addition versus cashing in to go get a star.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I could see them doing something like that. And it makes some sense for them to go just add a fringe piece because they are one of, we already talked about the teams that could convince themselves they're good without Giannis. They're one of those teams too that's in the mix that can say, you know what, we're already doing pretty well. Let's not do anything to short circuit our future here. And let's maybe make a small move around the edges here. All right, let's go here. A little off basketball here. Happy holidays, non-NBA question. What is one Christmas tradition you have since childhood that you still do today? And what is a new tradition that you started once you had a family?
Hey, that's Pete. Pete Toll. Hey, Pete.
Oh, it is.
Checking in, yeah.
There we go.
Cool. I think he's got a different name than he used to have. Definitely a different profile.
It used to be Pete Toll.
Yeah. So welcome, Pete. A new one is this came like as often when you marry someone, you kind of merge your traditions together. And we merged like my wife always, they did a present on Christmas Eve, which I did as a kid as well. But then you opened a second present, which was always pajamas. And they were what you wore to bed and then wore the next morning. So
that's funny. That's also mine.
Oh, that's funny.
It's not the new one though. That's what we had from when I was a kid.
See, so there you go. From when I was a kid, I'm not trying to cheap out. I guess opening a present on Christmas Eve, that doesn't really say. I promise I'm not trying to make this into a basketball question, but it's been the NBA. Like I've always watched NBA games on Christmas as long as I can remember. I remember watching them with my grandfather, my uncles, my dad. Like it is like I 100% always like remember sitting there watching those games. So I like that's always been a big part of it, and that continues to this day.
So for me, I mean, I think of like movies that we would watch. Like we would watch Christmas Vacation, of course, which is not unique. But like now, one of the ones that we watch, like we just watched it the other night, is Home Alone. Like it's fun sharing that one that came out when we were kids, So we'll share that one with our daughter. The Christmas cookies always a big thing. Things of that nature. I think those are about it. I mean, we used to have a huge Christmas display decoration in front of when I was a kid. My dad was very handy with stuff like that. And so we had Chevy Chase's house basically for Christmas
I remember
vacation.
you put up a picture once.
Yeah, I put a picture up of it.
Cool.
And that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. I can't get I'm not handy like that. So I have 4 different inflatables, the little blow up characters out in our front yard. I've got the projectors and things like that going, but nothing too crazy in that regard. So instead, we'll watch certain Christmas movies. We try to do movie nights, stuff like that. We still do the PJs the night before, Christmas cookies, things of that nature.
Another new one for me is just putting up Christmas lights. So when I grew up as a kid, we were always in places we rented. So we did not do a lot of like putting up lights or permanent things on the house or anything like that. And now like when we bought our house, my wife was like, we put up Christmas lights every year and she couldn't wait till we owned a place. And we go it's a little crazy. You know this, but I can tell everybody else. One of the single best investments I ever made was we paid for, I call them permanent Christmas lights, which are like the lights you get installed on like your your like underside of your gutter
Mhm.
or roof line. And we paid for ones that it's got all these different settings. You can do all different things. And we just set them for Christmas lights. So I don't have to go up on the roof anymore. I don't go on the ladder anymore, none of that stuff. And that was money I would spend 100 times over just for the lack of headache that gives me.
We looked into those, and maybe by next year. I'm like, we can't get them installed before Christmas, so maybe next year we'll do something like that, because those do look pretty nice. I definitely
Yeah,
like
they're pretty
those.
cool.
Yeah, they're cool. You can do all the different colors on them, and
Yeah,
all
they
that
have
kind of
team
stuff. So
colors too, so we play with those like during like when the Celtics were in the playoffs, we turned them to green and white, and
right,
you could do all kinds of stuff.
very cool, very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, we definitely need to look into that. All
Since
right,
it's
let's
friend of
go.
the show day, hit the like button, help the show grow. Thanks,
That's right.
Bryce.
Hit that like
Absolutely,
button.
hit that like button, guys. Like Spike, let's go.
Let's go here. What team would actually give anything to the Clippers for Chris Paul?
Probably nobody.
Yeah.
This is going to be you take a guy we don't want, we'll take Chris Paul off your hands, and everybody moves about their day. Like
Yep.
I don't think they're going to get anything really with this.
Jackson said, I'm a Cavs fan, and the media around here have said Atkinson is on the hot seat. Do they think they should shake up the roster? Do you think they should shake up the roster, change head coaches, or stay the course?
My gut says stay the course. They have
Yeah.
played very few minutes with their top 4 guys healthy, and with those 4 guys in the lineup together, they've been pretty good. I would hope that we can get back to that. But I said this after watching their loss to the Bulls last night. They just look kind of lifeless. Like there looks like you can just tell when a team is having fun and there's joy in the way they play. There wasn't a lot of joy in the Cavs play yesterday. So I'm a little kind of like, maybe it is time to do something. I would not fire Kenny Atkinson. That seems like a snap judgment. That's a bad idea. So I would stay the course or look at making a trade to maybe start moving away from the core 4 together.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you can get in a trade, what's out there for them. But yeah, I do think it would be a little bit premature to make a move like getting rid of Kenny, especially like the way that offense clicked last year. I know what happened in the playoffs, but the way that offense clicked last year during the playoffs, that's not an easy thing. So I think moving on from Kenny Atkinson would be too soon. I just pulled it right now to note. I mean, they haven't played together much. It's a tiny sample size, but with Garland, Mitchell, Allen, and Mobley on the floor so far this season, it's 127 possessions, which is hardly anything right now, but they're plus 25.9 per 100 in that. I mean,
that tells me it's still there.
Right? There's something still there. Yeah. So if I'm the Cavs, I'm staying the course. Maybe I add a piece or two on the margins, and I see what I can do to get healthy come playoff time. That's what I'm doing. And if anything, I'm taking some solace knowing that last year they were the favorite to at least make it to the East Finals all season long, and they didn't get out of the second round. Maybe this year, because they aren't at the top all season long, maybe the playoffs will turn out a little differently for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Come in little pressure off, maybe a little bit, and just kind of go forward. But yeah, I'm not gonna I don't want to get too crazy. But if you flame out again in the first or second round of the playoffs, you have to trade one of the 4 guys. Just has to happen.
What are your plans for the holidays? Well, I know you're traveling tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going on a quick little family long weekend. If anybody's in Nashville, North Carolina, and by the Biltmore, we're gonna go check that out and see that. Gonna go visit our friends, the Vanderbilt family. Good family friends of the Smiths. At least that's what I'm gonna try to play off. But I don't know, Smiths, right? Everybody knows a Smith.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're from the Boston Smiths. But no, we're just gonna get out of town for a couple nights and go do that, and then and then we'll be back home for after that. Get some people coming in that will be here. Gonna be staying here while we're gone, and then and then we'll be back together for Christmas. But I'm by no means complaining. Christmas is a work day. it's Christmas Eve is the not work day. You catch up from the 23rd in the morning, but then Christmas Eve is off. We do Christmas morning, but once games start, I'm pretty locked in for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be just staying home for Christmas this year. Traveled a bit for Thanksgiving, and then we're gonna be making a little trip at the beginning of January, but that's part of a little Christmas Day surprise in the works. So, so that's
is how you know our families don't watch the show.
Exactly. That's how you know they don't watch the show. So that's the plan for me for Christmas. All right. Let's go here. How can Golden State Warriors fix their team? Is there a trade they can make to get back in the playoff hunt? Well, they're not out of the playoff hunt right now.
Sure.
I mean, they're certainly.
I think he's probably thinking top 6 or maybe even higher. That's the tricky.
I mean, yeah. Right now they're 8th. They're the 8th seed. They're 13 and 14. They have a positive point differential though, which is good. They have lost their last 2 and they're 4 and 6 in their last 10. That does hurt. What do you do if you, because they kind of made their move? They went and got Jimmy Butler. They did
Kuminga, right? That's your last big.
That's
thing
what it
you
has
can
to
do
be
right now. Yeah,
it's moving Jonathan Kuminga, but like Jonathan Kuminga is also racking up DNPs.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I've been asked about this by a handful of different people. I think most teams see that as that's a Warriors specific thing. They're just done with him. Or better put, Steve Kerr is done with him. Mostly put by Joe Lacob in that email that he sent to a fan. But yeah, I mean, but that's, you got to use that 22.5 million. That has to be how you pursue some form of upgrade.
Does it have to be a huge, like, do they have to be? I'm sure they'll be having the conversations about Giannis. Does it have to be that kind of a move, or could the Warriors just get what? I mean, I know they've been talked about for Trey Murphy for a while. Is that all it's going to take for them to get their turn Kuminga into Trey Murphy? I don't know if they can do that, but and off they go.
If you're talking about a move that puts you in the top 6, maybe pushing for home court advantage, sure. If you're talking about a move that puts you in the next group behind the Thunder, probably not. Like that, that has to be Giannis or somebody like that. Like there's just such a wide gap, and I don't even know if that's enough. I mean, that's probably put you in that mix, but it would depend on what you have to give up to get them. You're gonna have to give up a lot too. That Kuminga alone doesn't get even close. No.
All right. Love you guys. The show's amazing. Happy holidays. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Do the Lakers still want Kessler? Haven't heard anything about him in a long time. Well, he's hurt. He's out for the season.
Yeah.
So, and he's a restricted free agent this coming year. And if you're the Lakers right now, I think you're happy with the center play that you're getting out of DeAndre Ayton. And so you wanted to see that play out. I mean, could you imagine, Keith, even though he's injured, if the Lakers went and swung a trade for Walker Kessler in January, let's say, and said, this guy's our center of the future, DeAndre Ayton probably just loses his mind at that point.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm like, what point, right? Then it's like, oh, well, I'm opting out at the end of the year. And you would like to be like, oh, well, that's, he's going to play really hard and, go create, but it's like, I don't know that that's where that goes. Yeah. I mean, the other part of this too, I believe it was Mark Stein reported maybe today. He had a little trade piece come out today. And I think in there, I think it was in his that the Jazz are still telling people we don't want to move Walker Kessler. Our intention is to keep him. So I'm going to guess nothing happens there. And the next we hear Walker Kessler is June 30th, July 1st, when it's Walker Kessler's contract is X or whatever with the Jazz or whoever he signs with.
Keith, we still remember the whole Kawhi bomber cap circumvention.
I still remember it too.
I still remember it. Yeah. I make tree puns as often as I can. What's the holdup? I know people but like it takes time. People get anxious to hear more about stuff, and I get why. But it takes time to do stuff like this. So kind of how we expected to play out, that it would take a little while. Eventually, I mean, we heard, maybe sometime after the All-Star break, something like that. This is the kind of thing that the NBA is going to investigate. It's going to take a while before we get any kind of resolution here.
Yeah, Bill Simmons said on a pod with Zach Lowe that he's hearing this could be like a Christmas week news drop kind of thing where it's like, let's just put it out. We're going to announce whatever it is. So we'll see with that. There's just it again. This is a complex thing that if they are found to have done what it looks like they did, this could be major punishments. And that's where you're not going to rush into that. You're going to take it a little slower to figure it out and make sure we're on the same page. So maybe something comes out next week. Sometimes Simmons does hear stuff that is, comes out, or maybe it's still a while longer.
I think as part of the punishment, the Clippers 2026 draft pick should be disintegrated. It should no longer exist.
I must just spit take my water. Yeah, sure. 29 other teams. Well,
I think 29 teams would agree.
They agree with that and be like, yes, we all agree. That is the punishment. And then the Thunder are like, hey, not fair.
No, the Thunder have no right to complain about anything ever when it comes to draft picks. Do you think the Timberwolves would trade for DeJounte Murray since they need a point guard? Does he have an Achilles yet? Yeah. I mean, he's hurt still. That's a serious injury to recover from. You need a guy to be back out there on the floor first. Yeah. I hope that he heals up and he's good and healthy and all of that. And if he is, then maybe that's a conversation. I mean, the lack of 3-point shooting might be a bit of a concern, but he's got to prove he's healthy before anybody's going to be interested in trading for him.
I like the idea if DeJounte Murray is healthy, because that's like a more attainable number to get to for the Wolves. This isn't a $40 million player, $50 million player. So I kind of like that idea. I think they have enough other guys who can shoot that DeJounte Murray would fit well. But you have to see him play again, because his game is so predicated on his ability to put the ball on the deck and get by people and get all the way to the cup. If he can't do that, that's like, yeah, that gets scary. That then becomes, I don't know how useful of a player he still is. So yeah, you gotta wait until you see him play. I think the downside for the Pels is we don't really have any update beyond like, oh, he's doing everything, the standard, he's doing everything he should be doing and all that. We don't know when he's going to return. I don't know if that's going to happen before we get to the end of before the trade deadline, rather.
All right, let's go.
I got distracted because somebody wrote, give the Clippers pick to the next geographically closest team.
I like that. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful idea. Thoughts on the Cavs possibly retooling and how the Nets can take advantage? I want to pair Garland with MPJ, Wolf, and Claxton. Possible, maybe not. Well, what are the Cavs getting?
I like Danny Wolf being slid in there as like the building block for the Nets.
Sneaking him in there. But why would the Cavs, what are the Nets giving the Cavs at that point that would make them say we're a better team now? Because the Cavs are looking to win right now. They would have to get something that would make them better. What is that piece? It's not Cam Thomas.
So, yeah, it's not Cam Thomas. I mean, the best way this could go down is it's a 3-team trade where some other team is delivering the big, fine, Giannis, AD, whoever you want to put in there gets there. But I mean, the problem with Garland, I mean, the nice thing for the Nets is they could tell Darius Garland, thanks, we're super excited to have you. Go sit and get your foot right. Yeah. We'll see you whenever we see you. They would not need to rush into putting him on the floor. So that would be the best part of it for them.
All right, let's go here. What is Cam Thomas's value? His numbers look pretty good. Well, I mean, he's got to get healthy first and foremost.
Yep.
But I think it still comes down to, conceptually, do teams see him as a 6-man scorer off the bench, which I think is the way the majority of teams see him. And does he see himself as that, or does he see himself as a high value starter that should be getting 30 to 40 million a year? I think there's going to be a disconnect on that concept, and that can create some problems. So what is his value? If his value is what teams will pay, probably a little bit above MLE, somewhere, I think probably south of that 25 million number that we saw for Josh Giddey and Kuminga, somewhere south of that. But from what the reporting was this last summer, that doesn't seem to be of interest to him, a contract around that level.
Yeah, I would be trying to get out of Brooklyn, because he doesn't have any future with the Nets. That is, I think, pretty clear at this point. And then it's getting to a place that can still pay him without his bird rights, because he'll lose his bird rights if he's traded. So that's where get him somewhere where a team is like, you know what we really need is we need Cam Thomas. Place where I thought he could really maybe kind of fit is Toronto. Toronto's offense tends to get really wonky at times. And I think a guy like Cam Thomas could fit there, where it's Cam Thomas comes off the bench, and when you come off the bench, we can play a lot and give you all the shots you want and kind of go forward, and we can cover for you. And other nights he doesn't have it. They've got enough other guys to play anyway. But yeah, again, I think he's a high-end sixth man, and that's not a bad role.
Yeah, agreed. I think he could be really, really good for the round. Just as a guy that, hey, he gives you 15 points in 12 minutes or something kind of guy off the bench, or 20 minutes, whatever it's going to be.
I remember, even though he signed the qualifying offer, his number's really, really low in trade this year. So just about able to get him. Orlando could fit there as well too.
Lakers get Pat Williams, Okoro, and Ayo Dosunmu for Gabe, Dalton, Rui, and a first.
That's not how I want to use my cap space.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, do you feel like that's a contending team? Because if you're going to give up the first, that's what you have to feel like you've got a real shot to go win the whole thing if you're going to give up that first. Plus, Rui obviously has got value to the team too. So, I don't think that would clear the bar for me to give up the first round pick. And if I'm the Bulls, I wouldn't do it without the first round pick. So,
And I know we said we weren't going to do fake trades, but if you do it as a super chat, we'll do it because that pays the bills. So that's how you get around that one.
Can any of this year's rookies make the All-Star game?
Nah.
Probably not, huh?
It'd be, Cooper Flag or Con Knipple.
Those are the two.
So. Yeah, no.
If the
that
Jazz
doesn't mean they're not going to make many All-Star games in the future, but
yeah,
just not this year.
If the Jazz offer Austin Reeves a max contract in the offseason, will he take it? If the Lakers don't offer him anything close to a max, then sure, he'll take it.
Yeah, I do wonder with Austin Reeves, like, what is the breaking point for him of Lakers offered X below the max?
Yeah,
that I will stay in LA, because there is a number, I think.
Sure, I think there has to be.
Every game he plays better and better, the closer it's going to be. Well, there's not a lot of negotiating to be done. It's going to be max, or let's figure it out. So,
if the Lakers say, sorry, we can't do better than $20 million a year, and the Jazz offer a max contract, then you would take the max contract, right? I mean, that's the way it's going. And it could be, if he keeps playing the way he is, then maybe the Lakers just max him. I mean, it's still, don't forget, there's different, not all max contracts are created equal. He's still
on the little one too.
The little max contract, the 25% max.
Yep. Unless he, no, because he doesn't. Yeah, no, it's the little one. Never mind. It's fine. Moving.
All right, let's go here. Could Jordan Walsh make the all defensive team? I've watched him play a lot this year, and his defensive instincts are elite.
I think so. I think he has a chance. If the Celtics keep winning, he stays in the starting lineup, continues to play defensively the way he has. He's been defending 1 through 5 almost equally. And equally as well, which is also really impressive. He had a defensive sequence in the end of a game against Philly where he picked up Tyrese Maxey, one of the fastest guys in the NBA, multiple possessions, and just shut him down. Jordan Walsh's leap this year into a true 3-and-D weapon is stunning. Like, this is one of the things, and this is not Celtics hyperbole here. This is just, I thought Jordan Walsh was like on his way out of the NBA by the end of the year, and now he's playing great. I mean, playing unbelievable. So yeah, I think it's definitely in the mix. We'll see. All defense a lot comes down to, are you still playing a lot? Are you winning? Are you going? Mm-hmm. So that's a big one.
All right. Matt Stevens says, are most team executives at the Winter Showcase this weekend? If so, what type of transactions do you think will come from this weekend? So yes, and I've seen a lot of comments, a lot of questions going around social media. Where are the trades? Why haven't any trades happened? What's going on? It's pretty typical. It takes time for trades. We did see trades happen early, but that doesn't mean it's always going to happen. So I don't know will we hear a lot of trade buzz? out of the G League Showcase? Yeah, I'm sure we will. Does that mean deals are getting done? Not necessarily. A lot of times what will happen is the initial seeds will be planted, right? And then they will fully come to a realization over sometimes it'll take after Christmas, after New Year's, they'll reconvene and come up with something. Doesn't mean that two GMs are going to go out for coffee and come back with a done deal trade or anything like that.
Luka AD trade. Isn't that how that started?
That is.
Yeah, that should be the somebody should put up a thing in that coffee shop that is like where the Luke AD trade was.
I'm pretty sure that coffee shop would lose business.
Well, was it in Dallas?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in Dallas.
I thought it was in LA.
I love that there's actually a picture of this. Like,
yeah, of the two of them there.
Like, that we have that moment captured. It's almost, and I'm sure this is probably not that point of the conversation, but it's almost like this was the moment that Nico said the word Luka, and you could see Rob reacting to it.
Right. I love it. Yeah, that is pretty funny. I hope that's what it was.
He looks like he's saying, wait, what? Like, are you effing kidding me? Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see a trade happen because of this. It doesn't mean that we're not going to, but just understand that sometimes it's more laying the groundwork, the foundation for a trade to ultimately come to fruition.
Outside of Jerry West, is Nico Harrison the best Lakers GM ever?
Man, I mean, he did a phenomenal, like I said, he's not paying for a meal again in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Does he get a ring next time they win? Assuming it's with Luke on the roster. Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's so all right. So here's a good one. Whoops. You're joking.
You're joking.
Yeah, probably is what he said. The new CBA affected the amount of trades being done. No, it did not. We do not see. Last year, we got 2 trades right away on December 15th. Extremely uncommon. Does not happen like that. We get a trade, maybe 2 in a year, in the first few weeks of trade season opening up. So that is definitely a thing that happens. But we don't get trades like right out of the gate usually. And the number of trades did not impact the number of trades at all. We had Luka got traded. Jimmy Butler got traded in an extremely complicated deal. We had major trades done last year, basically from kind of more the end of December, middle of January, straight through to the deadline. Like the new CBA did not change anything. I said this a year ago. I came home from Arizona State. Remember, I went to their mock trade deadline competition, and I said, if you can get a bunch of college age kids in a room that can make massive trades that are legal to make it work, NBA GMs will figure it out, and they did. So everybody wants to blame the CBA for everything. It hasn't impacted this stuff.
It has impacted how teams are behaving.
Yes.
It hasn't impacted the number of trades, though. And what happens is we get so caught up in, like, what have you done for me lately? Like, our memories are so short when it comes to trade. Like, there could be a trade. There's a trade on Monday. On Tuesday, I've got people saying, why aren't there any trades happening? What's going on?
We had the Luka trade last year, and that happened, like the 2 or 3 days ahead of the deadline? And it was like 2 days later, and people were like, this is the worst deadline ever. Nothing's happened. It's like, Luka got traded. Like, what are we doing? Like, and when you have a mega trade like that, it does take a day or so for everybody else to reset. Because then the next thing is like, what is happening here? Like, what is going on with this? And it's actually Brad Stevens talked about this the other day. He said that what it has changed is multi-team trades. Now you are looking, instead of just me and you make a trade, pulling in a third team, pulling in a fourth team. And again, I don't want to keep going back to the same well with the Luka trade, but we saw the Jazz. They have to be pulled into that trade in order to make it a legal trade. That is something that we will see. Again, the Jazz, the Nets have cap space. Some of these other teams that are miles from the luxury tax, they will get involved in some of these trades just as being helpful facilitators.
Yeah. Absolutely. So it's something where more teams are going to need to be involved in deals in order to get them done. What?
Did you watch How I Met Your Mother?
No.
There's like a running joke in that show when everybody says like major trades, or like major trades, or like
what? Why does major
general
trades
soreness?
come up?
because
often.
we said major trades.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
he's saluting us with major trades.
I get it. Very well done. Well done.
Yeah.
If I'd watched the show, I'm sure it would
It would have been funnier if you watched the show. I highly recommend watching the show and then quitting before the last season and just never finding out. Like the whole premise of it is, how do they met? How did he meet their? He's telling the story to his kids of how he met their mother.
Okay.
And it goes way off the rails in the last season, and the final episode is actually one of my least favorite episodes. So I'd rather just end it and pretend like, I don't know, the zombie apocalypse happened and they got eaten and the kids never found out.
There's a lot of shows like that where they just kind of lose their way at the end. The League, which I loved, the fantasy football show.
Yeah, that I think
they lost their way big time towards the final season or so of that. There was a show we were watching, AP Bio, which was really funny in the first couple of seasons, and I was like, okay, this is good. And then by the final, you're like, whoa, they got crazy there.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Definitely got off. Who are you going for in today's games? I think there's like 12 or 13 games today.
Yeah.
Like I'm not I don't know. The team that scores the most points. Go sports ball.
Trade Vando, Connect, Cleva, Gabe for Zion and her. Well, you got to spell the guy's name.
Yeah, I'm gonna trade it for a spell check on your phone here. El Plucky, Godzilla.
He's only hitting 50% on name spellings here.
That's got to be a talk to like type or something.
It's got to be.
So,
it's got to be.
No, that did. I mean, despite being as down on the Pelicans as we are,
no one's doing
anything like that.
No.
If Herb Jones is really available, though, man, team should be like.
Oh yeah.
I'd be annoying calling every day. Like, want to trade Herb yet? Want to trade him yet? Okay. What about now? What about now?
Mom, mama, mommy.
Do you remember that Simpsons episode where they want to go to Krusty Land or whatever it is?
Oh, can we go to Camp Krusty? Yeah, can we go to Camp Krusty? Is that what they were saying?
It's something like that. Or Krusty, can we go to Krusty Land? Can we go to Krusty Land or whatever it is? Yeah. I love it.
Those are good ones.
Don't be on the phone while driving, nephews. That's true. Serious note, take care of yourself out there over the next week or so. Driving, there's a lot going on out there. Take a little extra time, be a little cautious as you drive around. Itchy and Scratchy Land. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Itchy and Scratchy Land. So it's been a while.
Man, that was failure by us.
Although I was doing something the other day, playing a game. We were playing cornhole, and my daughter was across the way, and she's getting ready to throw hers, and I'm like, I'm just going to be standing right here swinging my arms like this. And if your beanbag happens to get in the way, it's your own fault. And of course, she didn't get it. She just didn't like that I was blocking her.
Nice.
All right.
I think we're there.
Yeah.
We did it. All right. So no show tomorrow. We got your show today. Guys, we won't we'll have shows next week, but we won't have any live shows unless there is a major trade. That goes down, and then we'll get with you guys. But Merry Christmas to everybody who's celebrating Christmas. I apologize, this is probably off of me. I think Hanukkah has started. Happy Hanukkah. Celebrating that, whatever it is you're all celebrating, have a good one. If you're not, enjoy the basketball on Christmas Day. For sure, that's always a blast. And but we'll be back in the beginning part of the week, but no more live shows until Boxing Day, right? The day after.
Boxing Day. Yeah, that's right.
All right, everybody. Have a big fight.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. Till next time. See ya and stay safe.